Welcome to Bookwood. I'm glad you chose to spend some time with me. If you haven't met before, my name is Mashou and I create bookish and journal content over here on YouTube. Welcome in my carousel vlog. Carousel vlogs are the vlogs that I set out every week so that you can discover the books that I've read and come along with me and my family onto activities we have done. Sometimes related to the readathon we are participating in, like this month for Hikathon. Sometimes more things organized by our library, museums, and of course, in nature. Today we are in another part of the natural reserve we live in. We are in a village called Braive and we are at a place called le village des saules. This piece of nature is very well protected, and it is because we have a very special type of environment here. So this is wetlands. We have a lot of different types of willows growing here, and not only they preserve the species of animals that need these very wet areas, they also preserve older species of willows, and you can come here to learn about them and to learn also to make baskets out of them. They organize a lot of things, and one of those is this mystery path. So we are looking for a treasure with the kids. We are on a scavenger hunt. Oui, pour moi, tu l'as raté, oui. Combien?
2.
En avance. Ben, retiens le chiffre. I wanted to really quickly talk a little bit about this scavenger hunt that is such a deception. I heard about this hunt a few years ago and I meant to come earlier, but it just never fitted in. And it seems that it is not really maintained anymore. So there is the box where there are the booklets. So there were none. So we went to the offices and we got a booklet. And then many of the clues or the things we are meant to find are missing. But we still had a good time walking here and observing like the many species of frogs that we have. The kids played around the pond for a while and had fun observing them, and also observing like the water snails. And we saw a bunch of and different types of dragonflies, which was also very interesting because we don't see them anywhere else. The first book I want to talk to you about is 5 Survive by Holly Jackson. It is the one book that I read for Hikathon last week. It is for the survival read prompt. This book is the first one of Holly Jackson that made it to my wanting to read list, and after reading Not Quite Dead Yet, I hesitated a little bit if I would keep it on that list, since it's not that I not enjoyed Not Quite Dead Yet, but it felt, I don't know, it didn't grab me as much as I would have wished for. But I decided to give 5 Survive a try, and at the start I really regretted it. I had a lot of difficulty getting into this book. We meet Red, short for Redford, which is a 18-year-old girl, and she is along with 5 friends in a mobile home doing a road trip to a place where they will meet up with friends, I guess, so people from school or things like that. And I feel it has like this some spring break stuff, but I cannot really situate it in the time. She is on this trip with her best friend Maddie and her brother Oliver, who is an adult. He's 21. He's studying law. They have got this mobile home to use from Simon's uncle, who is a close friend of Maddie and Red. Together with Oliver, there is also Reina, who is his girlfriend. She is studying medicine. And there is also Archer, and Archer is a friend that only joined their little group at the start of the school year. Simon and Archer met in the basketball team that Archer just joined. We are meeting them being on this road, and we will learn that Red is most certainly not a easy person. She seems to have troubles with memory. She also seems to be stuck in some guilt, grief situation, and she has a plan, but we don't know what. And at some point late in the night, the kids get lost. They seem stuck into some very woody area, and then one of their tires go flat. So they get out of the mobile home, repair the tire, and when they get in and try to get away, not only the 4 tires are being flat again, there is also a hole in the gas tank, and there is no gas anymore to drive the mobile home, and so they are stuck in the middle of nowhere. Sets in some kind of panicky thing, and that will become bigger when a walkie-talkie is delivered mysteriously to them, and the voice in it says them that there is one of them holding a secret that they want to know, and they have until 6 a.m. to give this secret, so that only that person dies, or otherwise everybody will die. they are explained that they cannot escape, and that trying to escape will end up by them being shot. And we get into some type of frenzy in which Oliver takes the lead in trying to escape of this situation, and that will very soon go up into who has a secret, what secret, and we will see the several children falling mentally apart and finally giving up, but it's because it seems everybody has one. And of course we will have a lot of not the right secrets before we hit the right secret and everything that flows out from there. Once I was in it, I did really got invested in hating Oliver. I couldn't stand him at all. I got really intrigued and caught myself several times thinking about who would be the one holding the so wanted secret. And at the end, the secret seems a little bit unrealistic, a little bit too far stretched to me to really go along. I also find the ending quite like, I don't know, I can grasp it. Not about events, it seems a little bit unrealistic, unnatural, I don't know. It has something that makes me not believe this story, and I cannot exactly tell you what, but then whilst reading it, it still got to me. It still got me engaged with it. So that's why to me it lands on like an okay read with a plus. I feel the characters, we stay in the head of Red and we will go through the whole emotional scheme, but then I feel it turns around a little bit. Maybe it is because I'm an adult and I have lived through many experiences, and so I would not react as a teenager, and that I am a little bit too old for this book. I know that Jorim is very interested in reading it, so when he is done, I will try to get his feeling about it. Let me introduce you to the clips that are going to follow. We have this event in Namur that is called La Nuit Blanche, or the Sleepless Night, in which museums and university and other interesting places open up until midnight and they are free to access. And I've decided to take my kids with me to the University of Namur and the building that holds the celestial observation, so that we can go stargaze for the prompt or the activity prompt for Hikathon. And there is also a library and another department that we can visit, and that's what we will take you along with next. it is time to talk about the second book that I finished this week, and that is The Forgotten Garden by Kate Morton. This is the common read for May Flowers Readathon, and I listened to this book. It is a book, an historical fiction that has 3 different timelines. We will be trying to solve the mystery of Nell, the first lady that we meet. When she is 4, she ends up alone on a boat, put there by the authoress that said that she would come back but never did. And this ship goes all the way to Australia, where in the harbor she is adopted by a family that from who the husband works in this harbor. They bring her up, and when she's 21, her father tells her that she's adopted. Somehow, I found it strange that she doesn't remember that she has been adopted. And this shakes up her life, but she will end up going to look for where she's coming from. We will also be following Cassandra, which is her granddaughter that she partially got as a child to her, because Cassandra was abandoned by her mother at Nell's house for some reason. And when Nell dies, it is Cassandra that will take over the search. She will inherit of a cottage, and that will set off a whole set of events that will lead her to find out who Nell's real parents were. The third timeline we are following is in the past, and that is Eliza's. We meet her when she's 12 or 13 years old. Her mother just died of what I guess is tuberculosis. Her twin brother also dies, and she loves to tell stories, scary stories, and her mother has always warned her for the Batman, a description of someone that she absolutely needs to flee from. And we will also understand that she has a more wealthy background than the poverty she is living in now. At some point, Nell will be taken by this Batman, brought to the house of her uncle and aunt, where she will become a companion for her cousin, Rose. We will follow how Eliza grows up, how she bonds with Rose, but also how things go down from there. And I will not tell you where the rest of the story is going to. I hesitated a long time before taking part in this read-along, because I wasn't sure that the live discussion shows would be on a time that I could attend, but also I wasn't sure that this book was for me. I was drawn into it because in some reviews I saw things about it's a little bit magical, it has a mysterious labyrinth, and so I decided to give it a go. Unfortunately, this book does not have this little magical touch, or at least not to me. It is a very well written historical fiction mystery. I feel that the stories and the timelines are very well woven together. I really liked how it was done. I was, though, a little bit disappointed with the story. I feel at some points it is way too long for what it is saying. And then in the end, the resolution, I could guess it quite early on. I don't know if it's me or if it's everybody. And I felt it was more like a stereotyped story. I wished it had something more. But I did enjoy reading it anyways. The next few images are from an activity that we did this morning at the library of Andenne. We have an event going on in Wallonian libraries, which is called Le Printemps des Bibliothèques, or the Spring of the Libraries. And some libraries host events, others just put forward small springy books. But Andenne has organized a workshop in which we could go learn more about plants in the wild that we can eat. And to that was also linked a little cooking session in which we prepared some more apéro snacks, and then we enjoyed them together. It was not easy to film a lot of them because there were a lot of people and we want to guarantee people's private lives, but we did enjoy this event a whole lot.
Pas d'image ici, mais on a certaines feuilles qui sont doublement dentées. On a des grandes dents et puis des petites qui viennent s'ajouter.
I have one last book to present to you in this vlog, and that is Evergreen Academy. This is a cozy fantasy that I stumbled upon on Instagram, I think, and it is part of Kindle Unlimited. I was drawn to it by the very beautiful cover art, and also the premise that this book has some type of plant magic system. So this decided that it was worth giving a go. I really enjoyed this read, and that surprised me somehow. I am not a cozy fantasy reader. These books seems to have like a too perfect world for me. I don't know really how to explain it, but it feels so positive and so good intentioned, and so unreal to what my daily life experience are, that it often does not hook me in. And regularly also these stories seem to be too descriptive, to just going around, but then not in the Japanese beautiful reflective way. I think that that's the closest to how I can explain it. But coming into this book, I met Braive, like every reader, and she lives in a small town called Wilde, and I thought that was very funny. And around this town there are woods, and in these woods is located some type of academy. It's called Evergreen Academy, but nobody really knows what it is. Nobody really seen it. It is protected by high walls, gates, and people seem not to know what is going on there. There are the wildest theories, though, which was also quite funny. It made me smile, some of them. And Braive lives there, grew up there. She lives with her aunt. Her mother died like 6 years ago. And she will be attending for 2 years the local normal academy before trying to go to university. And she attends some science and math classes, but she's mostly interested in art. She loves drawing, and she does that a lot. And it is during one of the science classes that she discovers in a microscope parts of a plant that she doesn't really know, and asking about them to the science teacher makes that he invites her over to discuss this further, and from there on invites her to become part of the Evergreen Academy. Turns out that even the wildest theories about this place are not correct. This is a school where children from some special families come to study science. These families have one thing in common, it is that they have some kind of magic running in them that gives them affinities with plants. They can see beyond what our regular science can see, and they can, for example, take toxicity out of plants, or make their curative powers bigger, things like that. They can also slightly bend them to their will. And it is very refined, it is very unique as a magic system. And arriving there, it is not only the magic that is interesting, the whole place is so magical. This academy is protected by some type of dome that leaves it for the outsiders very difficult to see what it really is. They mostly see like quite abandoned buildings, but the reality is that it is beautiful. It has like glass house styled buildings and buildings formed in trees. It is full of flowers and of very much other greenery. And the description of it was very, very magical, taking you really with you to this place. I could really well imagine what it looked like, and I really enjoyed being there. It was a place that if it would exist, you would find me at. And Braive tries to fit in, makes friends, but also discovers that she is way behind on science class, on math class, and also that her magic is not completely the same as the other people there, and that is a mystery. And in this first book, we follow her integrating, we follow her turning into a little scientist, working very hard to do so, together with her friends, but also with a tutor called Cullen, who is like a little bit, if you have read Twilight, and Edward Cullen, it is the most stunning guy, the most secretive guy. He is very intelligent and he is very sweet. And we will also discover, well, that it becomes important to find out which family she's from, to be able to understand her difference with the other students. And together with that, we also start to see that this protective dome is becoming weaker, falling away at some points, and we will need to find out what is happening, and maybe both mysteries at some point in the future, because it's not in this one, will be linked together. I feel that we do not learn a whole lot about both mysteries, and the one thing we do learn about the family line of Braive, I thought was like a little bit over the top. But that's then also the only thing that to me was like, oh no, here we go. But all the rest felt so magical. And I'm really happy that I read this book, and I'm also very happy that it is on my TBR, or that the second one is on my TBR for June. This was the last book on my May Flowers Readathon TBR. Well, there is one more, that's a psalm for the wild-built, but it didn't came in from the library. And so next week I will be completely focusing on reading the books for Hikathon. I already read one of those this week, and the books on that TBR are shorter, so I'm pretty confident that by the end of the week I will have read all that's left on my TBR. But if you want to know if I managed to read it all, there is two ways to do that. That is by watching next week's carousel vlog, and or by watching my May reading wrap-up. That will be more a journal video that will be there at the start of June. And if you don't want to miss those and you want to spend more time with me, I certainly want to spend more time with you, then you can follow this channel and maybe even turn on the notifications so that you are notified when the next video is on YouTube. See you soon!